Fintello Friday 15-minute demo session. So every Friday I go live and talk about a problem that I've seen financial advisors face and something that I'm hearing from advisors, and then I actually give you a demo of Fintello and talk about one capability, one feature, so that you get to really understand what goes behind, and then I end up with talking about the benefit of it and the real life uses of that particular thing. So today, what I'd like to discuss, and the main topic today is what is a qualified lead? Because I hear from advisors and insurance agent. Even today, I spoke with like three advisors and agent, and everybody's obsessed about qualified lead, right? That's the name of the game. People want to not waste their time. They want to talk to people that are qualified, and everyone is. I even have people saying that I'm looking for ready to buy prospect, and that's the need, right? So I want to talk about this whole concept and idea of how do you find prospects that are qualified, and what is the meaning of qualified prospects, right? What does it look like? Because oftentimes it's misunderstood. We take it for granted, the definition of qualified lead. And I'll show you one specific you know part of our platform in Fintello and how we actually approach that, and how does it work. Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, what is the definition of qualified lead, because qualified lead is really the thing that everybody's looking for. So if you go by the textbook, right, of sales and lead generations and everything, a qualified lead is essentially a prospect that have the understanding of the need or a problem that they're facing. They also understand that they need help to solve the problem, like they can't do it on their own. They also have budget that they're willing to invest to solve the problem, right? So they have the budget. And the last, they also have a timing need, right? This is something they want to do now or relatively in short term duration. And and that probably is the main thing, and you probably can add a couple other things here and there, but that's like fundamentally the textbooks of a qualified lead. So imagine you had someone, if you're looking into retirement planning as an example for financial advisor, a qualified retirement planning lead would be a person that have an investable portfolio. They understand that they have to do retirement planning, put a retirement plan or something like that in place. They know that they can't do it on their own. Now they want to work with a financial advisor or somebody, and they want to make a decision and transfer asset in relatively short time. Okay, that really becomes a perfectly qualified lead. Now, for financial advisor, you can also add a layer of minimum investable asset if you're focusing on 250,000, half a million, $1 million, whatever the number could be, and that also can become another layer, because if you are building your practice on half a million dollar investable asset lead, somebody with $15,000 or $20,000 probably is not qualified for you and your service. So you can also add that layer as well on top. For life insurance, you can take similar example. If you're doing term life insurance, do the person, have the money to invest in life insurance? Do they have the need to invest in life insurance? Are they willing to, make a decision now and pick the right policy? Are they willing to submit an application in relatively short period? Are they healthy? If you're doing life insurance, then smoker status, are they healthy? All that plays a big role. So you need to have that kind of qualification process, right, in place. So now, first of all, let me just tell you the reality of qualification. In today's world, and this is where most advisors miss it, most advisors do not realize the world we are living in, with a lot of access to information. Now AI is here with ChatGPT and other tools. We now work with educated buyers. Okay, so an educated buyer is a good and a bad thing, because a lot of time education also becomes a reason for people to overthink. And I see this all the time. Even in my case, many advisors speak with me, they have a meeting with me, but they're just analyzing, and they're now going into ChatGPT and spending like another week, and then they spend another 2 months talking to somebody else. Like they never get out of what we call the information gathering phase. So that to me is a totally unqualified lead for someone like me, right? So there's always this qualification issues we run into. But in today's world, with all this thing happening, a qualified lead is not necessarily easier at times, and sometimes they're easy. So what happens really? Here's the reality. Let's say you had 50 leads that you are, attracting through campaigns and stuff like that. You probably will get five people who are like perfectly qualified. The remaining 45 will be early on in your journey. They're not ready today to talk to you. They may not want to buy anything right now, but they could do something in the next 2 months and 3 months. So they're still a pretty good lead, but they're just not qualified. And most advisors somehow don't look at it like that, and they may not have the patience to also do that. Okay, so that's kind of the big picture of the problem. And now I'm going to share my screen and show you like one campaign that we have and how we addressed um, the question of qualification. Okay, so I'm going to go now into Fintello. So let me just go here. Okay, so let's talk about this. So if you go into, so this is a Fintello, it's a one-stop marketing platform that we built for financial advisors. They can run all their campaigns from branding to lead generations and everything, like from content posting to LinkedIn outreach campaign to Facebook ad campaigns and everything. So all of this is in one place. It's for financial advisor, insurance agent. We have ready to use campaign and all that. So going back into qualification aspect of it. Okay, so here is like some Facebook ad campaign that we have. Okay, so let's say if I go to this particular campaign. So when we are helping advisor launch a campaign, so this is an example for a retirement planning campaign. So this particular ad works really well. We have many advisors running this ad right now, generating good leads and everything. So you're running the ad, and when somebody clicks on the ad, the one well, let me just take a step back. So first of all, the qualification of the lead starts from like the first thing that you create, which is your marketing asset. So for example, if you look at this ad, it says how far $1 million goes into retirement. So it is kind of indirectly we are targeting people with higher portfolio. So the ad, the word plays a big role. Then the images that we use, plays a big role. So if you have something like this, like a nice little yacht at the back, that shows affluent people, right? Uh, Another one as well, right? You see, like the images that we're showing is in sync with the kind of portfolio, and this also attracts people. The algorithm of Facebook and everything start to show it to people that falls into this, people who would appreciate these type of images and all that. But sometimes you also know that broke people with big goals and dreams also get attracted, and Facebook may not know that in the beginning, right? So that's kind of the first layer, but it does some level of targeting, but then more also has to happen. And that's when somebody wants to get this information that we're offering, in this case a guide, then they go and add, click on this thing and they submit information. And here we ask them for the name. And now here, as you see here, we're asking question. So question is a really powerful way when it comes to online marketing to dictate qualification, right? So now if somebody is answering how far are you from retirement, what are your concerns in retirement, what's the size of your investment portfolio, would you like a no obligation retirement plan review? So if somebody answer this question and say, okay, I'm nearing retirement in 5 years, I'm not sure I can retire comfortably, I have over $1 million investable asset, and yes, I would like to improve my retirement. Now this would be a pretty good qualified lead for any financial advisor, right? But if somebody says, I don't want to improve my retirement, which means they're saying, don't bug me, don't phone call me, I don't want to talk to you, I just want the guide. That doesn't mean the person is not qualified. Maybe the person has $7 million, but he just doesn't trust you right now. And that's why they're lying and they're answering the wrong questions. People do it all the time. The beauty of marketing is it still allows you to capture the lead. It gives you an opportunity to share the guide or send a video and things like that. And the person can then book a meeting and become a client faster, right? But this question is one good way of qualifying people. Now, some people have misunderstanding. Now we go back into the criteria that we have. So here we go on Facebook and pick different criteria, like you can pick country and state where you want to run the ad. You can put the age, and there used to be more detailed targeting on Facebook where you have income based stuff and stuff like that. All those things are really incorrect. It doesn't work. It never did, but now it doesn't even work anymore. So trying to find pockets, to get qualified people is really wrong way to do it, right? The right way of doing it, your ad creative should be good, the ad copy should be good, The offer should be very good. Like, what you're offering, in this case, a guide or a video, that really has to be good as well. And then technically, again, answering asking good question really allows you to filter leads as well. So this is like one way to find leads that are more qualified. But even in this case, if you got 10 leads, you probably will get one person, booking meeting, maybe two. And that is still a very, very good campaign in the world of online marketing. This is another myth and mistakes advisors have. They believe that, well, if I have only one person convert, it's a pretty bad campaign and I should stop it. And most people stop it. And that is a mistake as well. You really have to look at the numbers, the cost of a lead, cost of appointment, the ROI of a campaign. And something that we do a lot, we also have all the dashboards that we put together and everything. So anyway, I'm just going to go back and stop sharing this, go back on the video here. Okay, perfect. So just wanted to give you that perspective of the lead qualifications. Again, lead qualification is a process. I just showed you one way of doing that today on the Facebook ad campaign, the LinkedIn campaign, the email campaign, the funnels. They all have slightly different kind of places, but fundamentally when it comes to qualification, you qualify by asking questions. When somebody's booking a meeting, like in my case, when someone books a meeting to speak with me, there are 10 questions they have to answer, right? So that 10 questions gives me a good indication of how qualified the lead is. And then on the sales call, you get more qualification. So qualification is a journey that starts with marketing from the very first images. Then you do a lead capture. But then when you get on the phone call, when they're booking meeting, you again qualify. When you get on the phone call, you again qualify, right? So qualification is a process that goes in multiple steps. But sometimes, advisors make a mistake thinking that there is some place, secret place where there is a mark saying this is a qualified lead, this is not qualified. Also is very much based on the advisor, right? Maybe the lead is qualified, but you don't have the skill set or products or solution that you can offer them. So that technically is not a qualified lead for you. The lead is qualified for some other advisor. Okay, so you just have to have much more broader understanding and view of qualification of a lead. People make it sounds like it's a very cookie cutter approach of qualifications and things like that. So I just wanted to show you practically how a qualified lead is generated. With the Facebook ad campaign, it's asking questions. If you have a funnel, you're asking questions. But then people do lie. People do give incorrect information for various reasons. So even then you're going to have some holes, right? And that's why I said, like, the 10-15% conversion into appointment produces fantastic ROI. It's like, the retirement campaign I showed you, we have had advisors run the same campaign, literally the same, and they got 15% conversion into appointment, and they had 5,000% ROI. Like, I'm not saying everybody's doing, but there was one advisor who did that. Many advisor gets 500% ROI, 1,000% ROI very easily. In a 12-month window, if you do this kind of campaign, that ROI of how much you're spending on marketing and how much you're making, and then if you do that, or if you extrapolate that, if you're doing AUM fee-based model and you're getting recurring revenue, and if you do that 3-year period, if you keep a client, your ROI could be like 1,000, maybe 2,000% on the marketing spend. Unfortunately, most financial advisors don't have that vision, they don't have the understanding, and they miss the opportunity, right? And they play the short game, they put a little bit of money, expect something, and they give up, and then they do. But the people who do continue, the numbers are in your favor. Even if you had a 5% conversion into appointment, if you're selling a high value solution, these campaigns are widely profitable. Okay, so there's a whole different way of looking at it. So we track cost per lead, cost per appointment, and ROI are the metrics which we have a dashboard which I'll cover in another demo video as well. But anyway, just wanted to give you the perspective on a common question I have, which is how do we get qualified lead? Well, qualification of a lead is a journey. And I showed you exactly how in our platform, the first stage of qualification happens for a Facebook ad campaign. So hope this helped, and I'll be back next week on the Fintello Friday 15-minute demo session. Thanks a lot for watching.